many different interior designers and accounts and everything like that, but there's one particular account that I absolutely love, and that is of course Studio McGee. I'm obsessed with their feed, I love their TV show, I've got their book, I'm a nutter for them. And of course, I love their lines that they have, McGee & Co, and the collection that they do for Target. Unfortunately, it's not accessible here in the UK, although if Shay ever watches this, please think about coming to the UK because you will make a lot of money, particularly through me. As I was saying though, the line isn't accessible here in the UK. If we think about buying anything, we have to think about the purchase cost, then the tax, and then the, shipping fees. It just becomes unaffordable, unfortunately. I have thought about, whether or not to bribe my friend who lives in Austin if she will pack a suitcase full the next time she comes and visits, and I will just pay for the suitcase cost. But I'm being impatient and I wanted something from their homeware line here in my home straight away. Now, the one item in particular I have loved, I don't think it's available anymore, but the one item in particular I am just obsessed with is the limestone knot, which I believe is from their Target line. It is gorgeous. It's one of those classic pieces I just think will look great in anyone's home, whether you're contemporary or vintage. I think it will blend with both. Now I did think about, could I buy this and everything like that, but my husband was like, this is gonna cost too much for what it's worth. So I had to think of an alternative, and that alternative was to DIY it. I am quite handy when it comes to DIY. I do like to get my hands messy. This one was a little bit different though. This was asking me to go back to A-level art, but I thought I'd give it a go, try and DIY it, see what I could come up with, and I think actually I didn't think I did too badly, and I think I've created something very similar that looks really, really nice in my home. And the best thing is, it was all under £20, so it's a really affordable DIY that actually doesn't take that long and I think is perfect for our home. So let's not ramble on anymore. Here's how I DIY'd the Studio McGee knot. Okay, so for this DIY, you are going to need some modelling clay or air dry clay, acrylic paint, some water and some paintbrushes. I'll link everything I use down below. So to begin with, all you're going to do is roll out your clay. So you may need a little water to loosen it up, but essentially you're making one big sausage that you're just going to roll out to the diameter that you want your clay knot to be. Once rolled out, you're just going to take a bit off the end as seen here, just a bit of clay off both ends. And then grab the end of your paintbrush and just poke some holes into the ends. This is just going to help to kind of seal them together once you make your donut shape. Now take the other end of your paintbrush, dab it in some water and just put that on the ends. This is just going to help seal everything together and create your first donut. Once you've joined it all together, really what you're doing is smoothing it out, just getting rid of those kind of lumps and bumps from it, but I like to leave a few in. I think it looks a bit more natural that way with a few imperfections. Then when you're done, it is time to get it dried. So what you're going to do is want to put it onto a baking tray. You can leave it overnight. I suggest if you leave it overnight, it is going to take a couple of days. I did leave it overnight for one day and cooked it at 100 degrees for 5 hours. And now it's time to make the second donut. Again, you're pretty much going to use the same method that you did last time. It's smoothing it out, making it into a big sausage to join together. When you get to this point where you're making your obviously little air holes to join it together, this is where you're going to want to grab your other donut and join it up. This is simple, you simply slot it through as you're going to go and join it together. Now what you can see here is me removing a bit more of the clay. It was because this one was a slightly larger diameter than the donut we had previously made. You obviously don't want it too small, but you don't want it too big either, otherwise they're just not going to look great together if one of them is like off portion. Obviously it's never going to be perfect, but you want them to be as close to matching as possible. When it comes to baking this donut, it's going to be a little different because obviously you've got one that's already, you know, almost air dry. Mine was still a little bit off. It could have done with another hour or so, but I wanted it semi-dried for this purposes. To make sure that they don't stick together while the other one is drying out, you're going to want to get some tin foil, as I'm doing here, and just wrapping it around the already cooked one. This is just going to make sure they're not going to stick together, so you can still move them. If you wanted to miss this step, you can do so, but just remember that they won't move freely and you'll be stuck with the shape that you've got once you have baked it. Just a bit more smoothing out, and we're going to bake it exactly the same as you did the last one. I again did it in the oven at 100 degrees for 5 hours, and instead of leaving it overnight for 24 hours, I actually left it overnight for about a week. So from weekend I went from this to this beauty, and now it was time to paint it. So I used this sandy creamy coloured acrylic paint, picked it off Amazon. Again, it's linked down below if you want to get the same look, and you are just going to cover this knot fully in paint. Coat-wise, I did about 3. I'm not sure if it needed 3 coats, but I just wanted to make sure. Also to make sure the paint didn't chip, because this is something I noticed. I grabbed this bit of like styrofoam and just propped it up so that there would be, you know, perfection all around when it came to painting. Now what you're going to see me do is mix a brownie colour in with the sandy colour just to create a bit of texture. So with the brown colour I just made these marks, a few lines, a few splodges, just little things just to give it a bit of movement, and then put the paintbrush down. And I came in with my kitchen roll, just dabbing it. I didn't want to get rid of the paint, but I just wanted to kind of give it a very subtle look. Splodges you do is entirely up to you. I went for quite a few. Again, just using that kitchen roll just to spread it out, make it look less obvious. But in order to kind of get that full effect, what you're going to do is once you're kind of happy with where everything is, you're going to grab your cream acrylic paint once again. You're not going to need a lot, but see me struggle here trying to get any out of that little paint pot. And with a very clean brush, you're just going to go over the splodges. Now, very, very lightly, I must add. It looks counterproductive. You may be thinking, why you just painted that? But trust me when I say, it's just going to camouflage, you know, the harshness of those lines, but still give you that movement. So if you were in my house, up close and personal to this knot, you would still be able to see it. Trust me. Once you're happy, you're going to want to leave it for about 24 hours again just to fully dry, and then that's it, it is done. So let's see the final results. So here it is in all its glory. I absolutely loved it. I was really worried halfway through. I thought this wasn't going to turn out the way I wanted to, but I think it's great, and I think it looks great on the coffee table. In terms of like difficulty, I think anyone could really, you know, give this a go. You've just got to know kind of the basics of clay, which, I mean, it's been a while since I worked with clay and I picked it up really quickly. So I just truly believe this is a DIY that anyone can do. Just even if you didn't go for this shape, have a go and see what you can create, you know, get that faux limescale look in your home. If you did give this DIY a go, do let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to see your creations. If you think the video was really helpful, give it a like, subscribe, all that jazz, and I will be back with a video very, very soon. Bye.